Culture Committee, it is my great honor and privilege to welcome you here for the official opening of the Newmarket Theatre, a joint venture of the Town of Newmarket, the York Region Board of Education, and the Province of Ontario. Just as the citizens of our town recognize the need for a community performing and visual arts centre when Newmarket's first permanent theatre was opened in the Old Town Hall on July 1st, 1883. The opening of the Newmarket Theatre tonight is without a doubt the result of the dedication of many of the people here this evening to the preservation of community theatre performed by community residents. Many people recognized Mayor Ray Twinney for his involvement with sports, his commitment to the youth of our community, and the seniors of Newmarket. And as someone whose innovative leadership style put Newmarket on the map. It was, in fact, his very unique style that resulted in the Council of the Day seizing the opportunity to partner with the York Region Board of Education and the Province of Ontario to build this theatre we are officially opening this evening. I'll never forget Ray's enthusiasm after returning from a midwinter trip to see the Timmins Theatre, the model for our building, as he told his council, "If they can do it in Timmins, we can do it in Newmarket, and we can do it better." And of course, once again, Ray was right. As part of these opening ceremonies, you will soon be hearing from our MP, Karen Kraft-Sloan, our MPP, Frank Cleese, the Director of Education for York Region, Bill Hogarth, and Newmarket Mayor John Cole. Before introducing these dignitaries, I would like to introduce you to many of the people who were also instrumental in seeing this long-awaited project come to fruition. I would ask the members of Newmarket Council to remain standing as they are introduced, and I would ask you to hold your applause until I've had a chance to introduce all of them. Regional Councillor Tom Taylor, Vice Chair of Recreation, Councillor Peter Hall, Councillor Diane Springsteen, a member of the Ad Hoc Theatre Committee and Chair of the Theatre Fundraising Committee, Councillor Diane Humanek, Chair of Planning, Councillor Ray Snow, Vice Chair of Operations, and Councillor Gail Parks, Chair of Operations. Councillor Dean Burton, Chair of Administration, sent his regrets this evening. From the York Region Board of Education, I would like to introduce Chair Bill Carruthers, York Region School Board Trustee Karen Barker, and Rodney Dunn. An event such as this evening takes many, many months of hard work, and I would like to introduce you to the very hardworking and very enthusiastic members of the Ad Hoc Theatre Committee who have worked tirelessly to bring you this gala opening. I would again ask the members of this committee to remain standing as they are introduced. Again, Councillor Diane Springsteen, Mr. Bill Anders, the Director of Parks and Recreation, who I know is waiting in the wings, along with Rick Curry, the Theatre Coordinator, and Ross Bailey, Jane Earle, Bruce Hall, Gloria Lindsay, Richard Markle, Wayne Rose, Merlene Samuel Cephas, Mary Lou Stanton, Paul Templin, who's also in the wings, and Joyce Westlake. It is my great honor to now call upon our MP for York Simcoe, Karen Kraft-Sloan.
Thank you very much, Pam. It's our art and our culture that helps define us and help us understand who we are and where we're going. And as your member of Parliament, it's been my great privilege to have the opportunity to meet some of these artists in our community, the tremendous talent resources that you have here in Newmarket. So I'm absolutely delighted that you have such a magnificent facility in which to showcase the many talented people in this community. And as a mother, I can't help say that with a bit of pride that my daughter is going to be one of those performers today in one of the Huron Heights ensembles. But again, congratulations to all of you who have worked so hard to make this dream a reality. And we're looking forward over the next years to see some of these dreams performed on this stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Karen. As the province urges all levels of government to join together in community and business partnerships, it is only fitting that once again Newmarket has taken a leading role. The Newmarket Theatre is a partnership funded by the town of Newmarket, the York Region Board of Education, and the province of Ontario under the Ministry of Education and Training's community-based multi-use school facilities initiative. Representing the province of Ontario, I would like now to introduce our MPP for York Simcoe, Mr. Frank Cleese.
Good evening. That, by the way, is York Mackenzie. I consider it a real privilege to be representing the province of Ontario this evening, and it's not often that I, as a member of provincial parliament, have an opportunity to participate in effectively a ribbon cutting, if you will, when we're really experiencing in this province some difficult financial times. But this is an evening of celebration. And so for that reason, I'm particularly pleased to be representing the province of Ontario this evening. It's my pleasure to read a letter to you from the Premier of the province, who wishes everyone here the best. And I read as follows: on behalf of the Government of Ontario, I'm pleased to extend best wishes to everyone attending this gala opening. Live theater is a critical element of our culture. It reflects and boldly influences the style and substance of our lives. People in Ontario have an ongoing love affair for cultural pursuits of all kinds and are always surprised to learn that the Greater Toronto Area is home to more live theater than any other city outside London or New York. The opening of the Newmarket Theatre further enhances our province's role as a forum for the dramatic arts. Today's celebrations include a full and exciting agenda. Special recognition must go to the gala's organizers, contributors, and sponsors. This is a first-class event, and I'm sure you'll all have an entertaining and memorable evening. May great drama, and I might add comedy, emanate from the stage of this wonderful new theater for many years to come. Signed, the Honorable Michael D. Harris, Premier of Ontario. And in wrapping up my remarks, I want to personally extend my congratulations to all of the volunteers who've worked so hard to make this evening a reality. I would suggest, this is just for the directors, that perhaps at some point we can all enjoy a play on this stage entitled Who Does What. I would just like to also recognize this evening the former member of provincial parliament for this riding, Charles Beer, who is here this evening, who I also know has done a great deal of work with people in the planning and support of this organization. God bless you all, and we look forward to a great evening.
Thank you very much, Frank. I would now like to call upon Mr. Bill Hogarth, the Director of Education for York Region, who so eloquently stated in his message in our program that this alliance is a partnership that demonstrates to our students and to the community our commitment to serve our public the best way that we know how, through creativity and collaboration. Bill Hogarth.
Thank you very much, Pam, and good evening. This is a celebration. This is a celebration about community, This is a celebration for the arts. And this is a celebration for what can happen when people work together. As Pam mentioned, there was a journey, and it was 3 years ago, January the 31st, and I think tonight was cold. It's very, very cold at 6:30 in the morning. When the mayor of a town, the director of recreation, 2 trustees, when 2 architects and 2 members, staff members from the Board of Education make their way to Timmins to recognize not only what that community has done, but what we can do in this community, I think it augurs well for the vision that each of those people have. I want to say a personal thanks to the trustees that I work with, and Pam mentioned them. Certainly to Trustee Barker, who understands the arts in this community through her work with the Kiwanis Festival, and certainly to Rodney Dunn, who nurtured this project and felt very, very proud, and to Bill Crothers, who has given his life to community and recognizes what happens when the Government of Ontario, when the town of Newmarket, and when the Board of Education can work together. We often talk about win-win. This is a triple win, but most of all, it's a win for the community of Newmarket and for the students who so much are proud of this theater and so much proud of what we can do and what we can do for the arts. I personally know what this means, because I know what the arts can do for an individual and for a community. This is a celebration. Let's enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bill. I would now like to call upon Mayor John Cole to welcome everyone and bring greetings from the members of Newmarket Council. Mayor Cole.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What a wonderful evening. What a wonderful time to celebrate a very special occasion it is tonight. When it's a time when the dreams of many, many people have come together into a facility that really is going to be renowned and revered throughout our community, throughout the province, and I'm sure throughout the country. It's going to be a model of cooperation between the town of Newmarket, between the school board, between the province of Ontario. It's going to be a model for our young people as they have an opportunity to express their talents, to express their views, and to improve on their skills and their dramatics and their music, all the things that relate to the cultural sphere of what we know as to be the Canadian life. Particularly on behalf of the members of council, it really has been great to see this kind of cooperation and the kind of effort that the number of volunteers have put forward into making this dream a reality. And I want to thank every one of them personally on behalf of all the council of the town of Newmarket. I also particularly want to thank Councillor Pam MacDonald and the committee who were responsible for putting this facility together. It's taken a while. It's taken a lot of difficult meetings, a lot of discussions. You can imagine when 3 levels of government are cooperating. There are times when they don't always see things quite the same way. But through that kind of leadership that Pam has provided, through discussions with the architects who have worked very hard and the builders and everyone who has been involved in this, we have a facility that I think quite remarkably is going to be second to none in this province. So I want to thank Pam on behalf of all the citizens, her committee. I want to thank the members of council for their dedication in making sure that this project came through on time and on budget, I might add. And I just want to wish everyone a great time. Please use this facility. It's your facility. Any opportunity that you have to take part, to come out and enjoy, have a great time again. Thank you very much.
While the politicians are the ones responsible for setting policy and direction, it is the staff who are charged with the responsibility of ensuring the successful completion of any project. As Chair of Recreation and Culture, I have been privileged to oversee the building of the new theater on behalf of the citizens of the town of Newmarket. During this term of office, I have worked hand in hand with the Director of Parks and Recreation, Bill Andrews. Bill has taken on this incredible task with the same caring and commitment he gives to all his municipal responsibilities. I would therefore like to ask Bill to come forward now for a special presentation in recognition of his dedication.
Pam, thank you very much, but certainly it's a team effort, as Pam said, that she's fortunate enough to be the counselor in charge of culture and recreation, and I'm just fortunate enough to work with a great staff that many of them are here tonight, and so they work very hard to bring this theater to the opening that we are tonight, and we'll share this in our office. I thank you and enjoy the show.
In closing, I would like to draw your attention to our program and the many organizations, companies, and individuals who have made this evening possible through their commitment of time and funds. In particular, the many sponsors who are listed throughout the program, especially Mary Besson from the Royal Bank, Art Belair from Belair Recreational Products, and Ian Proudfoot, publisher of the Era Banner. The organizations whose donations have allowed us to put the finishing touches on our theater, particularly the Newmarket Lions Club, whose contribution of over $28,000 purchased Mary Lou Stanton's Pride and Joy, our grand piano, Newmarket Arts and Crafts Council, York Highlands Chorus, and the Newmarket Car Club, just to name a few. Terry Carter for our program's informative theater history, and Ralph Magel, who was responsible for the lobby displays outlining the history of theater in our town. Architects Carruthers and Shaw, and project managers J.S. Watson and Associates. During the construction of this theater, we worked closely with J.S. Watson project manager Seth Henniger, and were very saddened to learn of his untimely passing. I would also draw your attention to the many volunteers listed in the program. In particular, our volunteer coordinators, Art and Judy Craig, and Bernard Fritz, who has certainly become Rick Curry's right-hand man. Thank you to the many individuals who are responsible for producing and managing tonight's performance, the hundreds of talented performers whose work I know you're going to enjoy this evening, and the dedicated behind-the-scenes volunteers who have worked so very hard to make this evening a night to remember. Thank you as well to the students of Huron Heights Secondary School for this evening's catering, and to Rogers Community 10 for their support in bringing you our very first live on-air performance this evening. I would now like to turn the evening over to your hosts, Ross, Rick, and Merlene. Thank you.
In 1872, a group of boys decided Newmarket needed a town band. The only band in the area was at Sharon Temple. 125 years later, the Newmarket Citizens Band is the longest continuously operated band in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, celebrating their 125th year, the Newmarket Citizens Band. At the turn of the century, stage was the only form of entertainment, whether inside or outside, whether the stage was made of wood or simply the grass in our parks. Music was available through sheet music, or if you were fortunate, it might have the first cylinder gramophone. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, for the opening of our new theater, we will take you on a nostalgic journey through our century, highlighting events, music, song, and dance. To assist in our journey, I would like to introduce one of the co-hosts for this evening, Rick Curry.
Thank you. Thank you, Ross. In 1900, most musicals were found in London's West End and/or parts of Europe. By the year 1900, the musical The Belle of New York brought the Broadway musical onto the world stage. Although The Belle of New York was Broadway's first major hit, this decade would see Toronto boast of a world-class theater, the Royal Alexander Theatre, built in 1907 by Cawthron Mulock of Newmarket. The main dance performed on stages all over the world was the ballet. The most celebrated musical partners at the turn of the century were Gilbert and Sullivan.
When you think of Gilbert and Sullivan, when you think of operettas, you think of Gilbert and Sullivan. But the most successful operetta for the first decade was The Merry Widow. The next decade, 1910 to 1911, or 1919, found us on the downside of ragtime. But no one told Joplin, who continued to write great tunes like The Entertainer. In 1912, there was the sinking of the Titanic. George M. Cohan was making his name on Broadway and around the world. Minstrel shows were a big hit. There was The War to End All Wars. Two Canadians teamed up overseas in their own vaudeville act and called themselves the Dunbells. But they wrote two great songs. We were going to hang out the washing on the Siegfried line and Kiss Me Goodnight, Sergeant Major. Other tunes of the war, Pack Up Your Troubles, and It's a Long Way to Tipperary. But most of the tunes during this period were mainly lullabies of love and dreams. At the end of the decade, a young girl would become the first lady of comedy on stage and then radio. Barbra Streisand would play her life story and sing the song People, like only Fanny Brice could do.
But first, be a person who needs people. People who need people are the luckiest people in the
The 1920s, or the Roaring 20s, found a new type of entertainment. For only a nickel, you could watch a motion picture. The new dance rage was the Charleston, but the dance on stage was tap. The Grand Ole Opry was hatched in 1924 and went on the radio in 1927. Country music was born.
crazy for being Why do I let myself worry? Wondering what in the world did I do? Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying, crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you.
In this decade, we found some great songwriters and composers like Gershwin, Jerome Kern, Samuel Barber, William Truman, and Aaron Copland. Their music was being performed in such places as Carnegie Hall, Covent Gardens, and in Toronto at Massey Hall. For entertainment at home, some families had a crystal set or a radio, or maybe a gramophone, and if lucky, a piano. Ladies and gentlemen, the theater's piano, graciously purchased for us by the Newmarket Lions, played by Jan and Brad in two different styles.
all the gin joints in the world had to meet together in a place like this. Well, let's not waste the moment. Play it for me, Sam. Play it for me the way you did for her.
The fundamental things of
The musical composers such as Irving Berlin and Lorenz Hart, Richard Rodgers, and Oscar Hammerstein, who are not yet a team, music was produced faster than you could buy tickets. You may remember Lady Be Good, The Girlfriend, The Connecticut Yankee, No No Nanette. The one that made the Mounties infamous, Rosemary, and also one of the greatest musicals of all time, so good that it was reproduced for the 90s, Showboat.
Dream that I would discover the perfect lover someday. I knew I'd recognize him if ever he came round my way. I always used to fancy then he'd be one of a godlike kind of man, with a giant brain and a noble head, like the heroes bald in the books I read. Then along came Bill, who's not the type at all. You'd meet him on the street and never notice him. His forward grace, his manly grace, are not the kind that you would find in a statue. And I can't explain, it's surely not his brain that makes me thrill. I love him because he's wonderful, because he's just my Bill. He can't play golf or tennis or polo or sing a solo or row. He isn't half as handsome as dozens of men that I know. He isn't tall or straight or slim, and he dresses far worse than Ted or Jim. But I know to be upon his so comfy, cozy to me. He's just my Bill, an ordinary boy. There's nothing that I can brag about, and yet upon his knee, so comfy and cozy, feels natural to me, and I can't explain. It's surely not his brain that makes me thrill. I love him because he's, I don't know. Oh, because he's just my Bill.
Hi, my name is Rick Puri, and I'm the theater coordinator for the town of Newmarket, Newmarket Theatre. The town of Newmarket operates the facility under the Parks and Recreation Department. Right now we're in the lobby of this $3 million plus facility. We're going to take you on a special tour and let you have a look behind the scenes at some of the activities and some of the special equipment that helps to make this theater a very special place. As you're in the lobby here, you'll notice that we are set up to help you enjoy your visit to the facility. We have furnishings which have been provided by the Newmarket Arts and Craft Council, and we also have artwork on display, which when you come to the theater you'll be able to enjoy, and we're presenting local artists as well. We're going to head back now down towards the dressing room area, and for any of you who have had the opportunity of working at the old town hall in Newmarket, you'll really appreciate these dressing rooms. Let's have a look at these. Here's dressing room number 2. We have 2 dressing rooms which can accommodate up to 8 to 10 people per dressing room. As you can see, they're equipped with mirrors and with lights to help with the application of makeup for those people going on stage. In addition to that, we right now have costumes which are in storage, getting ready for one of our big productions that's coming up. In addition to the mirrors and the other facilities, we also have showers that are available for the cast members. Now, let's take a walk down the hallway, heading towards the stage. One of the things that some people find peculiar are the stage designations of stage left and stage right. Those are designations as you face the audience, not as the audience faces you. So on the audience perspective, to their right is actually stage left. That's where we're going in right now, and on the other side we're going to actually enter onto the stage, where you'll see a number of the special rigging equipment that we have in order to bring you great productions. So let's have a look. We're now on the stage area, and we're getting ready for one of the big productions that will be upcoming at the Newmarket Theatre. Some of the special equipment that we have are a backstage LED panel, which allows us to control the lights while we're doing light sets. And as you can see here, the panel gives us some presets and some additional light settings for each of the circuits throughout the building. So we're going to turn on the lights in the theater right now, and you can have a look at that. The theater is equipped with a 96-channel lighting board, as well as a 24-channel sound board. The lights shine from catwalks above the theater, 2 catwalks in the main audience area and 2 catwalks over the stage. The lights are focused from above the audience down onto the stage area, both in the front part of the stage, or the forestage, and in the middle or the backstage area. We have additional lighting from the back catwalks, which help us light the very back of the stage. And there are some special things such as cyclorama lights and the cyclorama, which help add light and atmosphere to a stage production. We'll show you the cyclorama just right now. Those are the cyclorama lights, and the cyclorama is a huge white screen at the very back of the stage, which is approximately 40 feet by 30 feet tall, and it allows us to do different images on the screen. We can either put reflective images, which are gobos, or we can do cyc lights, as you see up in the corner there with the red. We also have a catwalk here, which allows us to reflect light onto the cyclorama, or we can close what's called a traveler, or a black curtain, in front of the cyclorama and give it another effect. Now we do have another traveler, which is right here, which divides the stage again to allow for scene changes. We have a special curtain here called a scrim, and as light is reflected on the front of the scrim, it will blind anything that is behind it, but as light is reflected from the back of the scrim, it will light up individuals, or in this case, as you can see here, our stage band that we have set up for production. So when the light is shining on the front of the scrim, the stage band is almost invisible, and when the light shines from the back area of the scrim, the band becomes visible, and they can do their own performance. We're going up now to have a look at the catwalk area, where we'll be able to show you some of the lights, and then head down to the sound and lighting booth, or the real heart of the theater operation. Now we're up in the catwalk area over the stage. As you can see, the cyclorama, and above the area of the cyclorama is the catwalks, where we have all the electrics, where we plug the lights in order to provide the special effects for the shows. We have a number of lighting instruments, including Fresnels, which are these, and we have the Source 4s, or Licos, which are the lights that you see just behind me on the next rack. In this area, we have some curtains which provide blocking or masking to the backstage area or the side stage area in the wings so that people getting ready to make entrances or exits won't be seen. Some of the curtains are hung on chain, which are called dead hung. They don't move. Other curtains are attached to these wires and can be winched up and down in order to bring set pieces in or out, or we can attach set pieces to the curtain themselves and lower curtains down closer to the stage area. These winches are manual winches and do take a fair amount of time in order to be able to lower or raise set pieces. The lamps that we're using are Licos or Source 4s, and they have various light patterns depending on where they are positioned throughout the stage area. We have 50-degree, 36-degree, and 26-degree lamps, and they focus on the front part of the stage, the middle, and the back of the stage. And then, of course, as you saw earlier, we also have the Fresnels. The white curtain over the proscenium arch, or the main opening to the theater or stage area, is a fire curtain, which drops automatically should a fire occur in the building. It takes 16 seconds for the curtain to drop from the top of the stage to the stage floor, and during that time it will separate the theater from the stage area to prevent the fire from being exposed to the main auditorium. Although this equipment, the rigging, the scaffolding, the catwalks, and the lighting equipment may seem intimidating, it really isn't. In fact, the theater operates using volunteers. So if you are interested in helping to stage a production or be available to help other groups who come in to stage productions, give us a call, 715-7212. You could be up here working the lights and sound. Right now, while you have a look around, we're going to head up towards the lighting booth, and we're going to be able to see the sound and lighting equipment as well as the racks that really bring the sound and lights all together in order to bring a great production to you live from the Newmarket Theatre. Come on. We're above the lighting booth right now on the mezzanine area, and this is where we would do some more special effects, such as using this follow spot to light up the stage and be able to provide some more lighting effects for people working on the stage area. Well, here we are in the control room, and we're going to show you a few of the lighting effects that we have available. These are the main house control lights, and they will turn the house lights down in the theater. And although we have a work light on stage, right now you'll be able to see, as we bring up this dimmer, what's called a preset. And the preset affects what's on stage right now. So we have the red cyclorama lights, and we have the main stage light area lit. There are 24 presets on this board, but in reality you can go up to over 200 presets. And then working with cues, we can take up to over 500 cues. All of the lights show up on this monitor, and they show up in various intensities, as you can see. As I begin to lower the dimmer, the light intensities show up as decreasing numbers on the monitor. We have the ability on this lighting board to have a manual control of dimming, working with your hands or your fingers on the dimmer pad, or we can then program in, as I said, up to 500 cues so that each part of the show can be cued down in time. In reality, when we had the production of the Nutcracker in here before Christmas, it would have been feasible to time each scene in the Nutcracker right down to the very second that everything happened. Simply push a button, have it all timed out. You could walk away from the lighting board, and each scene would come up automatically as a cue for the entire show. And because it was also used with a digital audio tape machine, the sound and the light could be synchronized, and the entire show could be run automatically. On the far side of the lighting booth, or the control room, is the soundboard, and we'll have a look at that right now. Well, although it looks a little more intimidating than your home stereo system, this is our main sound distribution and mixing board. It's a 24-channel Mackie board, which has the capability of mixing not only regular sounds through the system, but allows us to send the feeds, such as the feed that we took when we had the Gala of the Newmarket Theatre opening, and Rogers was here taping the Gala. We were able to send a signal down to the Rogers truck for the live feed. We have a multitude of uses for this board, including bringing in cassettes, digital audio tape machines, as well as CDs. We have the equipment here for cordless microphones, either lavalier or handheld. And the board and the wiring of the theater have been designed with versatility in mind. Not only do we have individual channel control of the sounds that come into the board, we can also send sounds to various parts of the theater through the wiring system that have been set up and speakers that have been set up, so that bands on stage or individuals performing on stage can hear music coming either from the soundboard here or from
the band which will be playing on stage. We also have everything in the house wired to the rack area over here. And if some of you remember the old style telephone operator patch bay, that's what this looks like. Every microphone in the building, and we have over 58 microphones wired in the building, come up on the patch or distribution bay. From here we take a cable, and we're able to take a sound source and bring it up and patch it into our sound board. And that way we don't have to worry about particular sources being dedicated to the soundboard. Some of the patches, as you'll see, are red, and they indicate temporary patches. Some of them are black, and these are permanent patches for our cassette unit as well as our CD player. We have an automatic feedback suppressor, which ensures that we can prevent feedback during certain productions, such as panel discussions or stage productions where we may have a multitude of microphones on stage, and we simply do a set of that prior to going live or to the discussion. And we have a automatic volume control unit, which allows us to prevent the use of the Mackie board and wire directly in so that we can have a sound source controlled here in the booth or backstage, especially during panel discussions or meet the candidates evenings. We also have hearing assisted equipment, which allows the general public who have hearing problems to come in and make use of equipment which have been supplied to us by the Very Useful Theatre Company. We have a transmitter which is located behind the rack. We have a program microphone which is located in the audience, and we can transmit either to headsets or to loops which will assist people in hearing the productions that go on stage. We have a 800-watt main amplifier which provides sound at 400 watts per channel to the theater, and that provides our main amplification for productions going on in the theater. One of the things that's very important to have throughout the theater facility is the intercom system. The intercom system allows for the stage manager, who may be positioned either stage left or stage right, or possibly even up in the control room, to talk to the assistant stage managers, the technical people, the lighting, the sound, and cue them when certain things should happen during a play or during a production. The intercom and program sound are also wired through to the high school, and in cooperation with the Newmarket High School and the Board of Education, we have a joint shared use agreement that allows us to use the vocal room, music room, and drama room at the high school as green rooms or waiting areas or production rooms when we have theatrical productions going on in the facility. They're wired with intercom and program sound so that people in those rooms will be able to hear what's happening on stage, and they can also be cued when they should come from the school area into the theater area to get ready to go on stage. A number of groups have made contributions towards the theater. The lobby furniture was paid for as a donation by the Newmarket Arts and Craft Council. We have other donations from the Very Useful Theatre Company, Madson's Greenhouse and Flowers, as well as Hunter Douglas, who made a contribution of curtains to the green room. The green room is an area which you might find interesting. It's the preparation area for people getting ready to go on stage. Well, we hope you've enjoyed your tour, the backstage tour of the Newmarket Theatre. We'd like to remind you that we do have volunteers who work the front of house, ticket taking, box office, coat check, ushers, greeters, program, handout people. They're all volunteers, and we'd like to have you volunteer your time if you're interested in working at the theater. In addition, you could become one of our technical staff, and you could look after the lights, the sound, the rigging, set construction, and all kinds of other activities involved with putting on a production. So if you're interested, give us a call at the theater, 715-7212. My name's Rick Coury. I'm the theater coordinator, and we hope you've enjoyed your tour of the Newmarket Theatre.
That was, of course, a behind-the-scenes look at the Newmarket Theatre. We're out in the lobby now in the intermission, live with Mayor Cole. Your take on the proceedings?
Oh, I think it's just fabulous tonight, just to see the young people participating, everybody enjoying themselves, the crowd, everybody just having a great time. A wonderful, wonderful facility. Just to hear the way young people, their voices are projecting, people are listening, they're participating. It's just a great theater.
You and I talking just before we came to this interview, we were talking about the level of talent here in Newmarket, and we've been seeing it during the show. It's incredible.
It really is. You know, you think about a few ads and word of mouth, people wanting to come out and partake in the opening event, the gala opening, if you like.
Yes.
And the skill level of people who are participating, whether it's in singing talents or musical talents or drama or comedy, just so far it's just been fabulous, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the show. It's just really great.
Still some good things to come, of course. Did you have a chance to see a lot of theater at the Old Town Hall?
Yes, we certainly did, and particularly the Children's Theatre, we had a lot of opportunity to see that, and you see the different level, the different avenue. I think here it's going to encourage people to take part in it more actively, but also to take part in attending it. Because that's always the balance. It's one thing to have people who want to sing and dance and perform, but it's critically important to have an audience there. And this kind of facility will encourage an audience to come out, participate, and enjoy. And that's really what makes it all happen successfully.
Also touching on what we were talking about earlier, we were saying it was a little cool there in the wintertime and a little hot in the summer. Not to put it down, but when you stack it up against a place like this, it really can't compare.
No, I don't think you can compare. You have to start out somewhere, and you started out with that, and that provided a base for a lot of people. I think this is going to provide a greater base, more people willing to participate, more opportunities. Having it adjacent to the high school means that the arts class, the music class, the drama classes at the high school can partake and really have the opportunity to perform, even practice rehearsals in a proper theater. It certainly makes a lot of sense to do that.
Yeah, it sure does, and I know the town's excited. You can tell by the buzz here in the lobby after the first segment, shall we say, the first set of acts. Everybody's having a great time.
Yeah, like just walking out and trying to get out of it. You know, people are stopping and talking and saying, "Wasn't that great fun? We're really enjoying that. We're having a lot of fun." You know, what's happening next, and I think we're all looking forward to the second and third acts tonight. It should really be great stuff.
I sure am myself. I'm out in the truck, and I'm just having a wonderful time. Now, we're going to be talking with some more people behind the scenes later on. How do you feel about the fact that we have such an incredible stage for the talent? We have the lighting now, we have the sound system, we have the talent to go with it.
I think what it really does, it really stresses the importance and the opportunity for our people to perform. One of the things that we talked about in the Old Town Hall Theatre, it just didn't provide the atmosphere, it didn't provide the venue to allow people to really show off their talents.
Right.
This is going to do that, and I think there's going to be a lot of talent that's out there we didn't even realize was there, quite frankly.
Right.
And I think you saw some of that tonight. There are names in this program that I've never heard of before. Local people wanting to partake, wanting to participate, and that's what this is all about. It's a community theater, giving people the opportunity to enjoy and be part of something like this.
Yes. It's also going to be able to it's going to be able to hold its own. They're going to be able to have enough people in to be self-sustaining, if I'm not wrong.
Well, that's what we hope, of course.
Yeah.
But, you know, some of the events that have taken place now, like John McDermott was here and the place was sold out. The Ontario Ballet was here with the Nutcracker Suite. I think it was the first event before the official opening, because you got to get the wrinkles out.
Right.
But again, for 2 or 3 performances, that was sold out. Mm-hmm. It's just hard to imagine that the Nutcracker Suite, the Ontario Ballet, would be performing in the town of Newmarket.
Yes.
You couldn't imagine that with the facilities that we had before this.
Right.
So it's another opportunity. It's an opportunity for our citizens to be exposed to cultural events that they wouldn't be able to unless they travel to the Big Smoke or wherever.
That's the thing. I mean, as the town grows and it evolves and it gets better, I mean, we needed a facility like this, realistically.
Yeah, and I think that's what you're going to see. You're going to see this build. This isn't going to be a facility that's, as soon as you open the doors, it's filled. We don't expect that. Mm-hmm. This is a growing process. It's a process where people will get more and more involved, and they'll think of different opportunities for it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a great size, 400-odd seats. Yes. It's big enough that you can accommodate, as you can say, and have some projects that raise a bit of revenue to cover the cost of it.
Sure.
But on the other hand, it's not too big that it's overwhelming.
Yes.
So that it can be used in a proper community theater atmosphere. And I think that's really the bottom line on it.
It is. And speaking of community, it's really accessible. I mean, you don't have to go up a flight of stairs to get in here if somebody's in a wheelchair.
No, that's exactly right. And that's very important to us. It's very important to the community. And And besides the fact that there are laws that say that, I think it's more important that we as a community understand that. It's been designed, the design is extremely well done.
Right.
And I got to give full marks to the architects who really put an awful lot of effort into this. And when you look around it, it's not lavish.
Yeah.
You know, it's not
Seems
lavish,
like it.
but it sure works awfully well.
It does.
And when architects and builders and engineers, when they know you've got certain constraints, and which obviously we have, they were willing to say, hey, we can do these things. It'll work just as well. It won't be quite as lavish, and we can paint block walls instead of doing other things with them, make them extremely attractive, and make it very effective.
Right.
And that's the kind of thing, that's the kind of cooperation that we've had from everyone involved with it, whether it's the school board, the school trustees, the province, the architects, the engineers, contractors, individual contractors were saying to the architects, hey, if we do this, we can save the town of Newmarket some money. That's the kind of project that it's been. It's been a real town effort. Everyone involved.
And the town is very, very happy to have this theater here, of course.
Very proud of it.
Yes,
very, very proud of it.
Thank you very kindly for your time. We're going to let you slip back inside and enjoy the second act.
Thank you very much, and you enjoy it as well.
Thank you very kindly, Mr. Cole. We are going to head back to the main stage, if I am not mistaken, and find out the second act. Stretch it out? I'm being told stretch. That's the fun of live television, isn't it, Mayor? Of course.
We all understand that.
As a person sitting up there in the middle of the proceedings, tell us about the sound, the acoustics in there.
Sound is fabulous. You can literally hear a pin drop. Someone dropped a pin, and I mean you could hear it clear as Cabell. And there was another young lady, probably 5 or 6 years of age.
Yes.
I mean, her voice cords haven't developed, everything else. Projected right through the audience. You could hear everything she said, everything she sang about it. I mean, it's just wonderful.
Right.
Just wonderful. Listening to the piano being played.
Yes.
You know, again, you could hear every chord, every tone of the piano. It's just fabulous.
Yes.
While I've got you on the arm, I can do this. Thinking of, here's the Lions Club putting together $28,000 to buy us a grand piano. A little, service club, realizing the importance of this to the community. So Lions Club, everybody else has been involved, and there have been a ton of people else involved. That's how service clubs work.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayor Cole.
My pleasure.
Okay, we're going back to the main stage now for Act 2 of the gala opening of the Newmarket Theatre.
Wasn't that something? That's the Huron Heights Wind Ensemble, the theme from Superman. I don't know if it's in our program. You might go to read it, but I just thought it was so good I had to mention it. It's my pleasure, extreme pleasure, to introduce our second co-host of the evening, and also the Gala's choreographer, Marlene Samuel Cephas.
Thank you. We now entertain what was so fondly remembered as the Dirty 30s, the stock market crash and prohibition, most of the population looking for work and meals, and sometimes just a dime. Maple Leaf Gardens was built in 1933. Newmarket won the Memorial Cup, emblematic of junior hockey in Canada. The first transatlantic call was made from Newmarket to Dulwich, England in 1930. The composer of the 30s was Cole Porter. He wrote lively shows, mainly for young Fred Astaire. Musical theater during this period was Girl Crazy or Crazy for You, Babes in Arms, Anything Goes. Some of the hit songs were My Funny Valentine, Where Oh When, Night and Day, My Heart Belongs to Daddy, and Stardust. The dance of the 30s, although introduced from South America at the turn of the century, did not gain popularity until the 30s. It was the tango. 1939 found us at war again. Most of the entertainment was leaving for England. You never knew who you might meet at the Stage Door Canteen.
Once I built a railroad, made it run, made it race against time. Once I built a railroad, now it's done. Buddy, can you spare a dime? Once I built a tower to the sun, brick and rivet and lime. Once I built a tower, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime? Once in khaki suits, gee, we look swell, full of that Yankee doodly-dum. 500,000 boots went slogging through hell. I was the kid with the drum. Say, don't you remember they called me Al? It was Al all the time. Say, don't you remember I'm your pal? Buddy, can you spare a dime?
That was put in the show by Diane Springsteen, our fundraising chair.
The biggest in charge of music during the 30s and the 40s was the large dance band like Paul Whiteman, Glenn Miller, Dorsey Brothers, and individual stars like Harry James and Gene Krupa. The dance bands also helped launch the careers of some well-known entertainers, such as Frank Sinatra, Perry Como, Mel Torme, Doris Day, Dinah Shore. As you can see, without the dance band, many entertainers would not have had their careers. In Newmarket during the 30s, it was on the surface a very dry town. In fact, it was dry before the 30s and before Prohibition. But as rumor has it, there was approximately 46 bootleggers. There seemed to be, there's a paradox here. You could not drink liquor, it was a sin. But you sure could gamble at the local racetrack at the fairgrounds. By now, every family owned a radio, and some families had graduated from gramophones to a record player. There was a brand new business developing, the record industry. All types of music could be mass-produced, like pop, country, jazz, classical, and westerns. The 40s also brought another war. Newmarket was chosen as a site for the large military training camp. Like in the 30s, Canada had to share of a big dance band such as Guy Lombardo and Mark Kenny.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was John M. Denison Secondary School Band, the Paramedics, under the direction of Norm Strickland. Weren't they excellent? Musical theater would not be complete without the mention of Gene Kelly, the song and dance man who graced the stage and screen with his presence. He wowed audiences then, and he continues to be admired today. Musical theater in the 40s produced some of the most popular shows: Kiss Me Kate, Oklahoma, Carousel, Annie Get Your Gun, Brigadoon, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, Finian's Rainbow, and the biggest hit of all, South Pacific.
Some enchanted evening, you may see a stranger. You may see a stranger across a crowded room, and somehow you know even then, that somewhere you'll see her again and again. Some enchanted evening, someone may be laughing. You may hear her laughing across a crowded room, and night after night, as strange as it seems, the sound of her laughter will sing in your dreams. Who can explain it? Who can tell you why? Fools give you reasons, wise men never try. Some enchanted evening, when you found your true love, when you found her call you across a crowded room, then fly to her side and make her your own. All through your life you may live all alone. Once you have found her, never let her go. Once you have found her, never let her go.
The late 40s brought in the jet age. Stores that sold radios now had a new wonder to sell: television. Crowds would gather at store windows and watch a new small movie screen. In Newmarket, the Army barracks were purchased and made into a type of subdivision along Shrigley, built by Harry Bowser, who had returned to Newmarket after erecting the tallest building in the world, the Empire State Building. He had been the architect. The late 40s also brought a new interest in what you might call modern jazz.
tangerine, tanja, tanja, tangerine, tanja, tanja, tangerine, ba-da-da-da-ba-da-da-da, tangerine, she is all they claim, with her eyes of night and lips as bright as flame, tangerine, when she dances by, senoritas there and caballeros sigh, and I've seen toast to tangerine, raising every bar across the Argentine. Yes, she has them all on the run, but her heart belongs to just one. Her heart belongs to tangerine. Tanja, tanja, tangerine, tanja, tanja, tangerine, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da-da.
Tangerine, she is all they claim, with her eyes of night and lips as bright as flame. Tangerine, when she dances by, senoritas stare and caballeros sigh. And I've seen toast to tangerine, raising every bar across the Argentine. Yes, she has them all on the run, but her heart belongs to just one. Her heart belongs to tangerine. Tangerine. If you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, take the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. It winds from Chicago to LA. More than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Do-ba-do-wee-do-da. Well, you can go through St. Louis,
Joplin, Missouri.
and Oklahoma City is mighty pretty. You'll see Amarillo, Gala, New Mexico.
Flagstaff, Arizona.
Don't forget Winona,
Kingman.
Barstow, San Bernardino. Won't you get hip to this timely tip? When you make that California trip, get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on 66. Lose your blues on 66. You can cruise, you can't lose that on Route 66. Get your kicks
Far away across the prairies.
Get your kicks
Down to New
on 66.
66.
Lose your blues
Gotta make to Calgary.
Lose your
I got a long way to
on
go.
66.
Cumberland, Missouri.
And Oklahoma City is mighty pretty. You'll see Amarillo, Gala, New Mexico,
Flagstaff, Arizona.
don't forget Winona,
Kingman.
Longstop, and Bernardino. Won't you get hip to this highway tip? When you make that California trip, get your kicks on Route 66. 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 Oh yeah.
Newmarket High Jazz Choir under the direction of Paul Nicholson. Well, what could you call the 50s? The fun decade, the crazy 50s. We had the notorious Boyd Gang. They were robbing banks in Toronto as far north as Bradford. In fact, there was rumor they were to rob a bank, the Bank of Montreal on Main Street. The local police laid in wait, but they must have received a tip because they bypassed Newmarket and robbed a bank in Bradford. We were hit very hard with Hurricane Hazel. In fact, it took out the bridge on Water Street. Rock and roll had arrived. We danced to the twist and the hand jive and a lot of very slow numbers, I remember. All the songs seemed to come via groups like the Four Lads, the Four Aces, the Crew Cuts, the Platters, and the numbers that stand the test of time, like Your Cheating Heart, In the Still of the Night, or Stand By Me. Two brothers from Newmarket opened the first stock company theater. Murray and Donald Davis opened the Crest Theatre, which introduced great Canadian talent, Barbara Hamilton, Gord Pinsent, and Kate Reid. The musicals of the 50s were no less than the 40s, with The Sound of Music, My Fair Lady, Damn Yankees, Guys and Dolls, and one of the all-time greats, West Side Story. There was a musical in the 70s, told the story of the 50s to a T, Grease.
Well, it's one for the money, two for the show, three to get ready. Now go, cat, go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You can do anything but off of my blue suede shoe.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much of love drives a man insane. You broke my will, but what a thrill. This grace, this great ball of fire.
Doctor made my mama lay down with a son of riding all around. Cause the big old smoke was about to rise. Mama gave first to the hand jack. Blue moon, you saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Good golly, Miss Molly, sure like the bone. Good golly, Miss Molly, sure like the bone. When you're rocking out the rolling, can't hear your mama call. Rock and roll is here to stay, it will never die. It was meant to be that way, though I don't know why. I don't care what people say, rock and roll is here to stay. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. Oh, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand down. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand
I'm sorry to hear you're pregnant, Rizzo.
Oh, Bo, what are you going to do? Give me a whole sermon about it?
I think I've said too much already. I guess I better go.
Oh, you just hold it 1 minute, Miss Goody-Goody. Who do you think you are giving me all this empty crap? Since you have all the answers, how come I didn't see Zuko here tonight, huh? Oh, you just listen to me, Miss Sandra D. There are worse things I could do than go with a boy or two. Even though the neighborhood thinks I'm trashy and no good, I suppose it could be true. But there are worse things I could do. I could flirt with all the guys, smile at them and bat my eyes, press against them when we dance, make them think they stand a chance, then refuse to see it through. That's the thing I never do. I could stay home every night, wait around for Mr. Right, take cold showers every day, throw my life away for a dream that won't come true. I could hurt someone like me out of spite or jealousy. Well, I don't steal and I don't lie, but I can feel and I can cry. In fact, I'll bet you never knew. But to cry in front of you, that's the worst thing I could do.
The specialty channels, bringing you more choice. It's a good thing. More movies. How do you do? More documentaries. More entertainment. More music. Bravo, CMT, Discovery, Life, Showcase. The specialty channels. Get more from television. Call Rogers and get the combo.
At Rogers Cable Systems, we're committed to bringing you the best in home entertainment. From sports to movies to the best networks. From around the world to around the corner. It's all here with Rogers Cable Plus, Cable Combo, Cable Select, Pay TV, and Pay-Per-View. If you don't have it, you're not getting the whole picture. Rogers Cable Systems. We want to be what you want to see.
I think it does give a chance for the viewers to come together. Rogers Community Television is something you should get involved in. It's your station. You get a chance to build it. I think anytime you do a show that involves local content, people are always going to be interested and always going to watch. Community programming is probably the most important thing on television. Anytime you show minor sports, I really think that gives a chance for a kid to build his own self-esteem. You get to see what happened, what went on, and you get the full idea behind the story, and it's very rewarding.
Mr. Bailey, you have to be pleased with the way things are going here tonight.
Yes, I am. Compared to the dress rehearsal on Thursday, which was kind of a disaster, this was something I've never done before, where we've had groups all over Newmarket doing their own thing and then trying to bring it together, like the schools, the dance studios, and it was very tough. We had to cut some numbers out at the end. Nobody out of the show itself, but just cut some numbers, and so far it's running excellent.
How on earth did you ever get such a wide range of talent to fit on one stage in such a small space of time?
Well, we actually had auditions and open auditions in October, November, and there's a lot more talent which we couldn't use.
Really?
So it wasn't that difficult, and I hope the people in Newmarket appreciate how much talent is in the town.
Yeah. How does it make you feel, a facility like this, the people coming out, everybody getting together and kicking it off this way?
No, great. I was back with Newmarket Theatre Center in the 80s, well, actually 1980, when we were trying to get a theatre on Ferry Lake, which kind of didn't go, and now we've got it, and I really hope we take advantage of it.
Okay, let's draw some comparisons here between the new facilities and the old ones you were used to.
You can't compare it. I mean, we had a light council of about 20 lights. Now we got 96 lights.
Oh.
We got lights that are all computerized, where I've got to go out and make sure that it's on the computer before I go on stage and see if it works.
Right.
I mean, this is really, the technology is really good, and it doesn't compare to the old outfit at all.
Okay, can we talk about the people that are behind the scenes, giving it their all here, getting the bands and the performers on and off the stage so smoothly? It's going without a hitch.
They're tremendous, and they've come from the theater community.
Right.
And we have Paul Templin, stage manager, and he's from Hart House, lives in Newmarket. We have professional sound man in Rick, and I just can't think of his last name.
Right.
Rick Curry's son is on lights, doing an excellent job.
Yes.
And as I say, they're all from the Newmarket New Stage Company.
Right.
And they're running them back. There's a long way to go from here to the school.
Right.
Because of the just under 300 people. You can imagine where we're staging them and bringing them in.
Right.
And they're right on time. We haven't missed a cue.
You're telling me it looks amazing. Now, tell me how much preparation went into this evening.
We have been rehearsing, I would think, beginning of the year, strong, and then for the last 2 weeks, and then the last week every night.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's really, really going off without a hitch.
One more act and we got it, but I think after the second act we got it made now.
Oh, I would definitely say so. Hey, what's still to come?
We've got, at the conclusion, we got children's medley. This is terrific.
Right.
My singers, they're all between the age of 12. They're in public school, grade 8.
Really?
Then we have 5 or 6 songs from the latest musicals like Joseph and Phantom and Les Miserables. And then the conclusion number should be good, too.
Are you not going to let us in on the conclusion number?
You got to see it.
We got to see it. Okay, we have to wait, because this is live, of course, right now as we're watching this.
Right.
So you're not going to give us a hint at all?
No, it's from Les Miserables, Do You Hear the People Sing?
You're not supposed to tell us. No, I'm just kidding.
Because I want everybody at home, I want them to go get their drink and come back to the TV.
Hey, I like that. Now you've got to be pleased with the way the audience is responding, because, I mean, I've heard nothing but good things. Everybody's glowing. There's a buzz out here in the lobby.
Well, yeah, every time I come out to everybody, somebody comes to me and congratulates, and it's very nice. It's really, after all that work, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was thinking, I don't know if this is worth it. I hope we have a snowstorm, but no, it's worked out well.
I mean, you even have the lights outside. It's almost like Hollywood, if you will, is coming to town.
Yes, they've done a good job. The recreation department's done a super job.
Yeah. And everybody has glowing things to say about the theater as well.
Well, your next person you're going to interview is Rick Curry, and he just works his buns off.
He sure does.
He's here from, I don't know what time in the morning till... So is his wife, so is his daughter, so is his son.
You know, I was chasing Mr. Curry to try and get a chance to tell him about the interview, and he's so busy. He zoomed right through the doors. He's always on the go, and it really shows in the effort and the way this has all come off.
Well, I see he's here now, so grab him before he runs off.
I'll do that. Thank you very kindly. Okay. Rick, would you please join us over here? Thank you very much. Hi, nice to have you here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much. You know, a lot of people have done a lot of hard work, not only the performers, but
With regards to the theater, I'm the only employee. Everybody else in the theater, the front of house ticket takers, they're all volunteers, and they've done a tremendous job since December and getting going. Art Craig has organized them for me. Bernard Pritcher, my right-hand assistant, and they've done a terrific job. But everybody's pulled together for tonight, and the end result is on stage, and I'm bursting.
You must be. You must be. I mean, you're putting theater, like a Toronto theater, to shame in a way, if you will.
Well, we hope that in the future we'll have more and more shows. We've had ballet here. We had John McDermott. In fact, John McDermott has indicated he'd like to come back in the fall. He liked the theater so much.
Hey.
So we're looking at a lot of good things on stage. The real thing to remember in Council's mandate to the theater is that this is to be a community theater.
Right.
As much as we will bring in marquee acts, we want the community to use this theater.
Right.
And the decision was that we wanted Newmarket talent open tonight. We didn't want a marquee act. We wanted the people of the region to see the type of talent we have, and boy, have we got talent.
I was just going to say, and forget the fact that you're saying it, not marquee talent, because as far as I'm concerned, that's marquee talent.
Marquee talent is in the cafeteria, they're in the dressing rooms, they're all around us, and hopefully over the course of time we'll be able to put more and more people on this stage in a community way so that people can really appreciate. I think the best thing is, A, you don't have to drive to Toronto,
Right.
B, you don't have to pay for parking, and
Right.
C, you're 5 minutes from home.
I was talking to Ross, I said, let's draw some comparison between the old place and the new place.
The old place has a lot of memories for me. I spent 13 years on the Old Town Hall stage, and I was over there the other day taking down some of the lights so that we could use them here on the for special effects. And I looked around, a lot of nostalgia there. We did shows there that you probably couldn't do with very little equipment, 25 lights, a sound system that needed work, and yet we put it together. To come to this facility is like coming to a palace.
It must be.
And the town of Newmarket has done a lot. Former Mayor Ray Twinney, who initiated the project. I keep saying Ray must be looking down on us because we've only had three-quarter and full houses, so Ray's looking down on us.
Sure, and the crowd tonight, they're just eating up every moment of this.
Well, this is, if you take the community theater aspect of it, the parents are there supporting the children and the cast members as well. The general public at home watching tonight on Rogers, one of your first live eye telecasts from Newmarket. Great that it was done by the Newmarket Theatre, and more and more talent hopefully will cross our stage, and the general public live or in living tape will be able to see us.
They sure will. Now, I was most impressed. I played in bands before, and I've seen acts going on and off stage. I cannot believe the organization that's gone into this evening.
Paul Templin is our stage manager, and Paul's done a tremendous amount of work in organizing a crew. Carolyn Milland, our Rick Mowdy, who does some audio producing in Newmarket. My son's upstairs on the lights and looking after that, so I'll put a plug in for him because he never usually gets some credit. So Dad's giving you credit tonight, John. Everybody's pulled together for this production. We have about 15 people working backstage, helping with the rigging of the different sets, making sure the grand piano got on stage without too many fingerprints on it, because I know that Mary Lou Stanton would never want to have fingerprints on her grand piano when it came on stage for the first time.
Right. Oh, I wanted to say I had the pleasure of watching you perform in the old place. We'll call it the old place. How does it feel as a performer walking onto a brand new stage with all those wonderful lights and the sound system and the seats and everything going for you?
It's great. To be able to walk on the stage, and this is a very intimate theater. Although there are 400 seats, it's only 15 feet longer than the Old Town Hall.
Really?
So we've been able to combine 400 seats, where the Old Town Hall had about 250 comfortably. 400 seats into the same venue. And all I can say is when I walked into this theater, knowing that I would receive the theater coordinator's job, if anybody had been watching, I'll tell a secret right now. I walked into the theater, I looked around, I went, yes! So,
I could tell. Now tell us, what is next for your organization? I mean, this is February 15th. This is live, of course. Tell us what is next. What's coming up in the next few weeks?
We have the Children's Theatre Company coming in here next week with Peter Pan, and you're actually going to see a scene from Peter Pan in the next act.
Good.
Following that, we have the Newmarket Stage Company coming in with Night Watch. We have a country western talent showcase coming in for 2 evenings with Hospice Newmarket, and more and more coming in almost every day. We're getting phone calls. We're actually getting phone calls right now to book into June of '98.
Right. I can understand why. When you see it's done so smoothly and it sounds so good. I was talking with Mayor Cole. I said, what's it like being in the audience? Because people are watching this on television. What's it like sitting there? He said, it's fabulous.
It is. I think the general public and the audience here tonight, of course, you can hear things rolling off and on stage. You can hear the curtains. At home, you're seeing a production where you don't necessarily hear the live sound of what's happening backstage. Somebody drops a chair somewhere, you can hear that in the audience. But I think to be sitting in a seat And by the way, if you're interested, we are going to be doing a fundraiser to sell some of the seats. So we'll sell you a seat.
Okay.
We're going to be doing all kinds of fundraising over the next little while. Even though the theater's been built, we want to take advantage of the fact that there are opportunities for us to keep the costs of operating the theater low, so that we can keep the cost of the community users low.
Good.
And doing that with the volunteers that we have. We also want to take part in fundraising projects, so that overall, when somebody walks in here and says we want to use the theater, we're not charging them $1,000 a night to use it. We're charging them such a low rate that one group who came in actually found a sponsor for the advertising, was able to bring in Second City, the Silhouettes of York.
Good.
I brought in Second City back in January, and they had a sellout audience. So I think everything is working, and the more people see the facility, the more that they come in. There is really not a bad seat in the entire house. You're only 60 feet from the stage, and no matter whether you're in the wings or whether you're in the center aisle, everything is there for you.
Right, and that's the key to a good theater production.
I think the fact that we have a lot of people backstage as well. I mean, the people coordinating, we're using the high school this evening, and we'd like to thank the Board of Education, Newmarket High School, Gary Patterson, Mark Page, Jim, for the work that they've done in getting us ready for this. There's a reception following this that everybody's invited to. Unfortunately, we can't take everybody from the live audience, but the audience here this evening are invited to.
Right.
And we know that the school and the use of the school, more and more, and the board's use, more and more, will see hopefully more talent come out from the school system who will be able to be on stage and take part in things. There's the warning, Bill.
There's the warning. Better let you go, Rick.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks for taking some time out of your big night for us. Okay, thank you. And we are joined by another very, very familiar face. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good to have you here, Pam. Thank you. You must be pleased. You must be thrilled with the way this is turning out.
I can't believe what a wonderful night it is. You know, there's a lot of jitters that go on ahead of time, and all of the, I mean, this is all put on by volunteers. All of the performers are volunteers, and everybody, even up until just this evening, was so nervous and so excited about tonight. But everywhere I go, people are saying what a spectacular night. And this is all local talent. These are people from our community.
Right. Just give me 1 second. We're just going to change mics.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I'm just saying, the fun of live television, Pam. Okay. You've just telling us what a great evening.
The specialty channels, bringing you more choice.
It's a good thing.
More movies.
How do you do?
More documentaries. More entertainment. More music. Bravo, CMT, Discovery, Life, Showcase. The specialty channels. Get more from television. Call Rogers and get the combo.
At Rogers Cable Systems, we're committed to bringing you the best in home entertainment. From sports to movies to the best networks. From around the world to around the corner. It's all here with Rogers Cable Plus, Cable Combo, Cable Select, Pay TV, and Pay-Per-View. If you don't have it, you're not getting the whole picture. Rogers Cable Systems. We want to be what you want to see.
I think it does give a chance for the viewers to come together. Rogers Community Television is something you should get involved in. It's your station. You get a chance to build it. I think anytime you do a show that involves local content, people are always going to be interested and always going to watch. Community programming is probably the most important thing on television. Anytime you show minor sports, I really think that gives a chance for a kid to build his own self-esteem. You get to see what happened, what went on, and you get the full idea behind the story, and it's very
You can't keep a good man down, or a good woman for that fact. Somebody must have been whistling in the dressing room, Pam, because we had a few audio problems, but we're back. We're big, and we're talking about the theater. Not you. No, I was saying it's long overdue, a theater complex like this.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that it's really important. What I was trying to stress tonight is this is a partnership. This is a partnership of the province, this is a partnership of the school board, and this is a partnership of the town.
Right.
This facility is used all day long by the school board and all night long, and we've got community groups, we've got professional organizations, and we've got things like school graduations.
Right.
So what a spectacular facility that's used all day long, 7 days a week.
More than worth the money. Let's talk about the talent of the local community. I mean, everybody that's on there, are just incredible.
Well, I know. I'm sitting with people in the audience. People keep turning and say, "Can you believe this? I had no idea we had people like this in Newmarket."
Yeah.
You know, they've been laboring over this show, and they've been worried about what was going to happen. But it's just spectacular. There's no other word for it.
And it's nice to have a facility like this to showcase our talent.
And a lot of people are saying how good the acoustics are.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but we had John McDermott here
Right.
not too long ago, and he said it twice in his performance. He said, this theater is going to be packed. When people find out how wonderful it is, you're not going to be able to keep them away.
I like that.
I know.
And it's accessible, too. One thing I was talking about with Mayor Cole is that it's handicap accessible. You don't have to go up a flight of stairs like the old town hall.
Yeah, and not only that, do you remember when you used to have to drive to Toronto for this kind of entertainment?
Oh, yes.
Now you get in your car and you're home in 5 minutes. It's right here in Newmarket.
I have a feeling Toronto's going to be coming to us.
I think that's what a wonderful thing.
Oh, yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, we're going to let you slip back inside.
Great, thank
you so very kindly.
Thank you so much for being here this evening. We really appreciate it.
No problem. We'll let you enjoy the rest of the act, and I'm going to slip out in the truck and enjoy the rest of the act, too.
Great.
Thank you, Pam McDonald. Okay, we're going to go back to the main stage now, and Act 3 of the gala opening of Newmarket Theatre. We have 3 more minutes to fill? I'm being told we have 3 more minutes to fill. Let's find some people working behind the scenes. Come with me over here. We're going to try something daring. We can't go too far. Okay, tell you what, will you do me a favor then, my friend? This has never been attempted on live television before. We're going to steal the people over here behind the bar. Come on over here and grab me some people, will you? We're having mic cable length problems. So come on over here. We have to talk to these people. We need you. We need you. We have 3 minutes to fill. Come on over here. You're in trouble. Yeah, I know. You're telling me. So come on over here. Well, come on. We need you to come around here, please. Please, come hither, as they say.
Who are you?
I am Anthony Regan. How you doing?
Anthony.
We're live on television here. Is that okay?
No problem.
Who are you?
John McCleary.
John McCleary, you're a volunteer, and you are?
Yes, I'm Sandra McCleary.
Okay, Sandra, and you are, sir?
Martin Van Beek.
Okay, now tell us your take on tonight's performances.
We're sitting out here in the lobby selling tickets for the bar.
Okay.
It sounded excellent, though.
You liking it so far?
I saw a bit of it, and it was excellent.
Okay, and you, ma'am?
And the variety was excellent, and I'm especially interested in the high school bands, the caliber of their playing and singing.
Right. Okay, now what do you feel about the caliber of talent coming out of our community?
I think it's spectacular. It's amazing that the old and the young get together and put on a very good show.
You're telling me. Now, how long has this been planned? Like, how long have you been a volunteer with the Newmarket Theatre?
About 1970.
Really?
No, well, we tried to get a theater here many, many years ago, and it didn't get off the ground. Then they tried again, and I forget what years they were, but it's about time.
Right.
Newmarket's needed a theater for a long time, and not just for the arts, but for the school kids. It's a multi-purpose theater, and it should work very well. It should be busy all the time.
Right. And you should be busy all the time selling those tickets, right?
Well, they don't all drink liquor.
Well, you're selling pop too and coffee. Let's talk about the fact that this facility is finally here in town.
It's about time because we have so many local groups, the theater in town and the York Symphony Orchestra, which I don't know if is coming. We're in Markham right now.
Right.
And also the school productions now have finally a theater. They don't have to use the gym of schools. They can come and use the Newmarket Theatre Center. So we're very, very happy.
Okay, and we're happy to have, we're sorry to steal you away from your jobs, but everybody's heading back inside. Is it 3 more minutes?
3 minutes is up.
3 minutes is up. You're only supposed to get 15 seconds of fame, so we're doing all right by you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We're going back now inside.
Stepping out with my baby, and 40
taking you to 42nd Street. Hear the beat of dancing feet, oh, dancing feet. It's a song I love, the melody of 42nd Street. Little Lizzie's made of piggies, innocent and sweet. Sexy ladies from the 80s who are indiscreet. They're side by side, they're glorified. Where the underworld can meet the elite. 42nd Street, I'm stepping out with my baby. Can't go wrong, 'cause I'm in right. Yes, for sure, not for maybe. That I'm all dressed up tonight. I'm stepping out with my honey. Can't be bad, feels so good. Never felt quite so sunny. And I keep on knocking wood, they'll be smooth sailing, 'cause I'm trimming my sails. With a bright shine on my shoes and on my nails. I'm stepping out with my baby. Can't go wrong, 'cause I'm in right. Ask me when will the day be? The big day may be tonight. Stepping out to 42nd Street. I love to run my fingers over the keys of that old piano of mine. As a child I was wild when the band played, how I ran to the man when his head swayed. Clarinets were my pets and the slide trombone I thought were simply divine. But today when they play I can hit them. Every bar is a charge to my system. But there's one musical instrument that I call mine. I love the piano, I love the piano. I love to hear somebody play on a piano, a grand piano. It simply carries me away. I know a fine way to treat a Steinway. I love to run my fingers o'er the keys, the ivories and with the pedal. I love the metal, the only music from Broadway. So delighted when I'm invited to hear a long-haired genius play. So you can keep your fiddle and your bow. Give me a P-I-A-N-O, oh. I love to stop right beside an upright or a high tone, baby, friend. Give me a P-I-A-N-O, piano up there, Miami.
They need to sing with a little more energy. When we held our open auditions last October, we were prepared to look for all types of acts and performances. One performance was a real change of pace. It's called Rope Magic. 3 young ladies skip rope, and boy, do they skip rope.
Y'all ready for this?
y'all ready for this?
Weren't they something? Jeez. I'm panting and I'm just watching them. Well, the 60s, well, they say if you remember the 60s, you weren't there. I remember them because I was married. Sorry. Some of the new entertainment, the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Bob Dylan. We had the Flower Children. I wasn't one of them. We had the hippies, and we had Woodstock. There were 3 assassinations, Kennedy, King, Kennedy. The musicals of the period, Hello Dolly, Fiddler on the Roof, Hair, Stop the World, I Want to Get Off, and Cabaret. Toronto now boasted of a second world-class theater, the O'Keefe Centre, and it was opened with the world premiere of Camelot. A new musical would introduce a 21-year-old and would stun the music world with her voice and her charisma, Barbara Streisand in Funny Girl. A classic novel would come to the stage in Oliver. After all the above, the 60s will be remembered for one thing, the Vietnam War.
But Oliver's not like the other kids.
Let Fagan worry about Oliver.
Fagan? He'll hurt Oliver.
I said Fagan will look after Oliver.
As long as he needs me, oh yes, he does need me. In spite of what you see, I'm sure that he needs me. Who would love him still when they've been used so ill? He knows I always will, as long as he needs me. I miss him so much when he is gone.
This now is called an ad lib. There are a number of people who are making this show possible with their work backstage, getting people off and on stage. Paul Templin, our stage manager, Carolyn Miland, our assistant stage manager, an entire battalion of people who are really making this show move seamlessly, and I think they deserve a round of applause as well. In the 70s, we became part of York Region. A new theatre group was formed called Newmarket Little Theatre. It was later changed to Newmarket Theatre Centre. Later on, a second group was formed, the Old Town Hall Players. 2 years ago, the groups merged to form the Newmarket Stage Company. Tonight, the group will take a small scene from Arsenic and Olace. But before we begin, let me set the stage. The play is about Mortimer Brewster, a theatre critic. You listening, Dick? Who's come to visit his dear old Aunt Abby and Martha. Also living there is Mortimer's crazy brother, who thinks he's the President, Teddy Roosevelt. What starts as a pleasant visit turns into a shocking and hilarious insanity as Mortimer discovers a dead body in the window seat. Assuming his insane brother has done the dastardly deed, he tells his aunts he will have to put him in the nut house. But his sweet old aunts assure him that Teddy had nothing to do with it and don't worry himself about it, and they casually leave the room to prepare dinner. We pick up the action with Mortimer as he calls them back into the room to explain, and now we'd like to introduce to you Bob Wynne, Maggie King, and Gillian Rourke from the Newmarket Stage Company with a scene from Arsenic and Olace.
Aunt Martha, Aunt Abby, come in here. What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
What are you going to do about what, dear?
There is a body in that window seat.
Yes, Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, good heavens. I can't turn you over to the police, but what are we going to do?
Well, for one thing, dear, stop being so excited. And for pity's sake, calm down. We told you to forget the whole thing.
Forget? My dear Aunt Abby, can't I make you realize that something's got to be done?
Now, Mortimer, you behave yourself. You're too old to be flying off the handle like this.
But Mr. Hoskins.
Hoskins, dear.
Well, whatever his name is, you can't leave him in there.
Oh, we don't intend to, dear. No, Ted is in the cellar now, digging the lock.
You mean you're going to bury Mr. Hoskins down in the cellar?
Oh, yes, dear. That's what we did with the others.
No! Aunt Martha, you can't bury Mr. down in the cellar. Others?
The other gentlemen.
When you say others, you mean others? But more than one? Others?
Oh, yes, dear. Let me see. This is 11, isn't it, Abby? No, dear, this makes 12. Oh, I think you're wrong, Abby. This is only 11. I remember when Mr. Hoskins came in, it occurred to me he would make an even dozen. Oh, well, you really shouldn't count the first one. Well, I was, and this makes 12.
Oh, my God. I've got a phone Al. Oh, it's at the city desk. Al, is that you? Oh, Al, it's good to hear your voice.
Well, they're all down in the cellar now.
Al, listen, I'm glad I got a hold of you, because, Al, you've got to get a hold of that new kid. What's his name? The one that's following me around all day. Ellsworth, yes. Rick, yeah, you got to get a hold of him. He's got to review that play tonight, Al. I can't make it. What? Oh, no, you're wrong, Al. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Well, you've got to find him. Al, this is my department and I'm running it. You just get a hold of Ricky. Now, where were we? 12?
Well, yes, dear. Abby thinks we ought to count the first one, and that makes 12.
Oh, my God. Oh, now, here, let me understand this. Now,
Well, who was the first one?
Mr. Midgley, dear. He was a Baptist.
Of course, I still feel we can't take full credit for him, because he just died.
And Martha, because Martha did it herself, and he came here to find a room.
It was right after you moved to New York.
We felt it such a shame to let that lovely room go to waste when there were so many lonely old people out there who could use it.
He was such a lonely old man.
All his kith and kin were gone. Oh, and he was so forlorn and lonely.
We felt so sorry for him.
And when he had his heart attack came, and he sat dead in that chair looking so peaceful. Remember, Martha? We vowed then and there that if any old gentleman would find that peace, we would help him to it, didn't we, dear?
He dropped dead in this very chair? Oh, how awful and terrible for both of you.
Oh, no, dear. It was rather like old times. Your grandfather always had a cadaver or two around the house. And you see, Teddy was digging in Panama, and he thought Mr. Midgley was a yellow fever victim.
Which, of course, meant he had to be buried immediately.
So we all carried him down to Panama and put him in the lock. And that's why we told you not to worry, dear, because we know exactly what's to be done.
So that's how all this started, that poor man walking in here just dropping dead?
And, of course, we realized we couldn't guarantee that every time, so...
You remember those jars of poison that have been up on the shelves in Grandfather's laboratory all these years?
You know your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things. You eat enough of a piccalilli.
Well, dear, for 1 gallon of elderberry wine, I take 1 teaspoonful of arsenic, then I add half a teaspoon of strychnine, and then just a pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite a kick.
Yes, we had one gentleman who stayed long enough to say, how delicious.
Well, I really must get things started in the kitchen.
I do wish you could stay for supper.
Oh, I'm trying out a new recipe.
Oh, no, I couldn't eat a thing.
I'll come and help you, Martha.
The 70s would cement the careers of Stephen Sondheim, Tim Rice, and Andrew Lloyd Webber. Musicals of this decade: A Little Night Music, Jesus Christ Superstar, Godspell, Pippin, and the musical that is now a movie, Evita.
Keep your distance. is look at me to know that every word is true. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance.
Another major hit of the 70s was Annie. The town of Newmarket's Parks and Recreation program has a very healthy theater program. The junior group performed the first production held in this theater, Charlie Brown's Christmas. Tonight, 9 young ladies who have dedicated the past 3 months to this show joined the senior level children's theater to present a medley of Peter Pan and Annie. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow's stars.
Not me.
fate for sure.
Feel like a little swim girly? Yes, it's sure she does. There's nothing that can save you now, Missy. Yes, there's one.
What?
Who's that? Peter Pan! Signature! It's just you and me, Huck.
So, once again you tricked me. This was all your doing.
I, Captain James, took this. All my doing. Your days are now at an end.
Are there really such things as fairies? To find out all of the answers to this and more, bring your family, bring your friends to the Newmarket Recreation Department Children's Theatre production of Peter Pan, opening air next week to March 2nd. Tickets are now available at the Children's Marketplace and the Newmarket Recreation Department. Thank you.
Tomorrow, set your bottom dollar down tomorrow.
You know, politicians are not all unfamiliar with the theatrical stage. Take our mayor. I understand he blows a great trumpet. Just ask the town band. I understand he might take over Les' job. We also understand Tom Taylor comes from a theatrical stage company. His mother was in the Mikado, of all things. All the things we've done here tonight, somebody's been in it. In 1935, 6 months before Tom was born. I don't know if that is an omen. Then, but not to be underdone, Tom was in, I think, another short part of our play that you've seen around 1960, Arsenic No Lace, I think. Just so I want to make sure you all knew that some of them had some theatrical talent. As we conclude the evening, it seems appropriate to have our last dance group perform a number called The Last Dance. We will also conclude with 6 songs from a list of the best-known musicals over the past 16 years. And some of the musicals have been, over the last 16, kind of going in reverse. Ragtime, Tommy, Sunset Boulevard, Beauty and the Beast, Crazy for You, Showboat, The Kiss of the Spider Woman, Blood Brothers, Miss Saigon, Joseph, Phantom of the Opera, Cats, Les Miserables. What a list. We only hope the next century is as good. Thank you.
Midnight, not a sound from the pavement. darkness, the trees are full of starlight, and all I see is him and me forever and forever. And I know it's only in my mind that I'm talking to myself and not to him. And although I know that he is mine, still I say there's a way for us. I love him, but when the night is over, he is gone. The river's just a river. Without me, the world around him changes. The trees are barren everywhere. The streets are full of strangers. I love him, but every day I'm learning. All my life I've only been pretending. Without him, the world will go on turning. A world that's full of happiness that I have never known. I love him. I love him. I love him, but only on my
Nighttime sharpens, heightens each sensation. Darkness fears and breaks imagination. Silently the senses abandon their defenses. The darkness of the music of the night. Let your mind start a journey through a strange new world. Leave your thoughts to the light you knew before. Let your soul take you where you want to be. Only then can you belong to me. Floating, falling, sweet intoxication. Touch me, trust me, savor each sensation. Let the dream begin, let your darker side give in to the power of the music that I write. The power of the the music of the
join in our crusade? Who will be strong and stand with me?
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of